So does the universe actually send us all these signs and synchronicities? And when we get those signs and those synchronicities, when they show up in our lives, does it mean that we're supposed to take some kind of action once we get those signs? Or do we wait until we get another sign to confirm that the first sign we got was actually pointing us in a particular direction? What about those times when you feel like you got a really strong sign and you move forward and it kind of blows up in your face? Does that mean that it actually wasn't a sign from the universe? What about those times when you want a sign? Are you always guaranteed to get a sign when you ask for a sign? Is that a guarantee? Or is there some kind of prerequisite for getting a sign when we ask for one? And what about dreams? Are dreams a sign from the universe? Is that part of the synchronicity? When we get a dream that seems to be in alignment with what we want or in alignment with something that we desire, is that dream confirming that that thing is going to happen? Is that a sign? Is a dream a sign that we're about to step into what we desire? Or is the dream a sign at all to do X, Y, or Z? Is the dream telling us what to do? Is a dream a sign from the universe? And what about those times when you get really strong signs? And it seems to be telling you that this is going to unfold in your life. But you look at your life and it's not unfolding in that way. In fact, it looks like it's the opposite, yet you keep getting these signs that this is what's going to happen or this is what you should be doing. What are we supposed to do then? It's kind of like contradictory signs. Do we get contradictory signs from the universe? How do we figure out what the universe is trying to tell us? How do we figure that out? Who is the sender of the signs? Who is the sender of the signs? Who is this universe that's the sender of all the signs and synchronicities that we're experiencing? So how do we ask the universe for what we want? Is there a special way to ask so that we get what we want? And those times when we are in perfect alignment, or we feel like we're in perfect alignment with what we desire, yet it doesn't manifest. What's going on there? And if we're asking the universe for what we want, how do we do that? Do we have meetings with the universe? How do we do that? And when it feels like the universe is not responding, what's going on? What's really going on? And what is this universe that we're supposed to ask for what we want? What is this universe that we're supposed to ask? The universe has your back. We say that a lot. But what is the universe that has my back? And does the universe actually have your back? 100% of the time. Trust the universe. What is this universe that we're supposed to be trusting? Sometimes we hear that the universe is testing you. Does the universe test you? And why does the universe test you? What exactly is the universe that has my back, that I can trust, and is supporting me? Like, what is the universe that's supporting me? And how is the universe supporting me? How is the universe supporting us? And what is the universe that we're supposed to be trusting to have our back? If I'm the only one creating my own reality here on Earth, then what is the universe doing? And why would I need to trust the universe if I'm the only one creating my reality? Is it that we're co-creating with the universe? And if that's the case, how are we co-creating with the universe? Am I supposed to be having meetings with the universe to co-create with the universe? What's the process for co-creating with the universe? Is there a process for how we co-create with the universe? And what's the universe that we are co-creating with? What is this universe that we're co-creating with? If indeed we are co-creating with the universe, what is it? Is the label the universe just another name for the word God? Is it the New Age term for the word God? Is it just a woo-woo label for the word God? Or is there a definition for the label, the universe? When we each use the universe as a term, what is it that we're referring to? And if everyone is referring to something different, are we coexisting with the universe in clarity or some level of confusion? Is there a clear definition for the universe so that we can coexist with the universe in harmony? Coexisting in harmony with the universe, in clarity with the universe. Is there a clear definition for what the universe actually means? So what I want to do is fully and thoroughly explore all of the questions that we just heard in the beginning of this video. Explore them completely for the purpose of gaining clarity. I remember when I did that video in the downloads area of my website called How to Transcend the #1 Challenge with the Law of Attraction, and also How to Allow my intention with that video was one purpose only: clarity. And I knew that I had gained so much clarity on what everybody else seems to be chasing with regard to how does the law of attraction work, you know? And what I wanted to do was bring so much clarity that others experienced the same thing that I experienced, which was the questions dissipated. And I no longer need to chase what the law of attraction is and what process I need to use or not use. It was just very, very clear for me that this is the way the universe works. And I created that video series for the purpose of creating tremendous clarity. With this one, it's the same. How can I create tremendous clarity in this area? And the way in which it came to me was very sudden. I was sitting on my bed one day and having a dip in my vibration. Some of you heard this story. And I said to my guides, y'all see me dipping here? My vibe is dipping. And I asked for help. I was like, please help me shift out of this. And I closed my eyes on my bed, just wanting to be still, really. And as I closed my eyes, all of the questions that you just heard in the beginning and the way in which the video series ended up being came to me, and I became excited about writing all the components of it down. And it was very clear how I was going to start out the video and how the different segments of the video would flow. It was just very, very clear. So not much planning at all. And this is a very good example of allowing things to come to you such that not much planning is necessary. You know, you just kind of flow with what is happening, and it just kind of flows, and there's not much pre-thinking required, you know, and you can actually live in a state where those ideas just kind of come to you, and the way it unfolds feels very effortless and very seamless as well. So that's kind of how it happened. And I became aware in that moment when I was saying to my divine team, why is all of this coming to me in response to my desire to move out of this vibrational dip that I'm experiencing? Because the dip that I was experiencing had to do with a particular life situation, which had not changed, but they gave me this video series in response to that. And the clarity that I received in the process of receiving this video series in that way is, sometimes when we're trying to get out of a particular situation, we're actually causing it to worsen and to expand because we're so focused on it. So what my divine team beautifully did was completely take my focus off that particular life situation, which then resolved itself. I actually didn't have to do anything other than shift vibrationally internally. But what they did was they disrupted that flow of my focus on this particular situation, because they, as well as I do, know how this universe works. Whatever you focus on will expand. So in giving me this video series, I shifted my focus. I became so completely distracted that I ended up going in the direction of, how's this going to play out? And I'm going to do it this way, and just all the different components that were coming together really quickly. And I was jotting notes and receiving more and jotting notes, and totally took my focus off the situation. So that was the help that I received. So really good example of when you're asking for help, you expect it to show up in one way, but when you're really aligned with the divine beings that are here to assist us in this human experience, you got to remain open for whatever way it shows up. And that's how it showed up. And I was having fun creating this, you know, such that I really didn't care about the particular life situation. My focus completely shifted off of it, and it resolved itself beautifully. Really, really good experience there. So a lot of the questions that were in the beginning of this video were articulated by different clients of mine, okay? And it all came back to me in a rush as my divine team was kind of pouring that into my mind. And some questions came from viewers of different videos as well, sometimes emails that some viewers would send to me as well. And the reason that I want to bring clarity to this is because in conversations with my clients, when they're talking about the universe, like when people book a session with me, a private session with me, it's for one of three different reasons. First, it's, Allison, I'm having this spiritual experience and I just want to talk to someone about what it all means and where's my life headed, you know? And usually people in a spiritual awakening are the people that I'm helping and assisting and supporting. And that's one, is like, Allison, I'm in this, you know, unknown territory of a spiritual experience. I want to understand better what it all means. Secondly, Allison, I'm having this particular challenge in my life or business, and I want to understand how to transcend this and how to transmute this experience into greater expansion, greater awareness, and more of what I desire. So that's the second thing. A third is that they're wanting to create a certain experience in their lifetime, and they're looking for clarity on how to move forward in allowing that experience to unfold. So those are three different things that people come to me with. But often in many of those conversations, they'll say, I feel like the universe is fill in the blank. I feel like the universe is fill in the blank. I feel like the universe is, you know, sending me signs, all these different things, right? And in the many conversations that I've had with clients, I realized that when they say the universe is fill in the blank, they're actually in teasing apart, because when people say that, I end up having a deeper conversation with them about what do you mean when you say the universe fill in the blank, right? And discovered that people are actually referring to 9 different things when they say the universe. 9 different things when they say the universe. So how we're going to go about this particular video series is I'm going to share the 9 different things that people are referring to, which actually causes them to be in some degree of confusion about what's actually happening in their lives. So I'll explore those 9 different things first. Okay, so that's one segment of this video series, just to bring more clarity to that. And you'll probably see yourselves in some of the 9 things that I'm sharing. And then I'll share how my conversation went with my divine team when I sat on my bed one day, which is a very common thing for me, is to sit on my bed with my iPhone and go question and articulate the question, and then listen for the answer and then receive the answer. And so I'll share with you the answer that I received, which was actually quite comical, because in the entire creation of this video series, my own consciousness, awareness, and clarity has actually been expanding. And I'll share a little bit more about that in a minute. But as I sat on my bed, I had my own, you know, my own definition of what I believe when I say the word universe. It has now expanded as a result of creating this video series and having many conversations with my divine team. But in the course of asking that question, my divine team began answering the question, and I was like, wait, because they were not saying what I thought they were going to say. And then they came back in and really clarified for me their definition or their perspective of what the universe is in a very, very funny way. And if I'm brave enough, I will put that audio recording into this video series. I have to go listen to it again because I didn't mean for the public to hear that. But I may, if I feel okay with it, put it into this video series. But at the very least, I will share what that definition is. And so that will be what we'll do next. And then we'll go full out into the over 30, 34, 35 questions about the universe and all of these different aspects that you heard in the beginning, all the different questions that you heard in the beginning. What I'll do is bring my divine team on board and really have a conversation with them about all of those questions and co-create the answers to those questions. Now, I'm recording this first segment. I'm re-recording this first segment because I recorded it, and then I had the long Q&A, which I didn't intend to be a full-out conversation with my divine team. It just ended up being that way, right? And as I went through all of that, it changed my perspective on what I was going to say in the beginning because I gained more clarity, and so I have to re-record the beginning now. So the beginning with the 9 different things people have shared with me when they say the word universe, or when they refer to the word universe, the label, the universe. So I'm re-recording this because of the greater insight that I gained, which brings me to kind of what you will experience when I'm connecting with my divine team on different things. So before I created this video series, I did say to my divine team, well, since y'all gave it to me, I'll I'm inviting you to come play a role in this video series. And I expected to, you know, gain insights as I went along. But I didn't fully intend to be looking to my divine team for the answers. So for a lot of the questions, of the 34 or 35 questions, I read the question and then I said, so what do you guys have on that? And then I just received. And that's kind of how it will go. So those of you who have not actually seen me, you know, connect with my divine team on camera, that's pretty much how it will look. I'll look up here and I'll go, okay. Okay, so this is what I'm receiving, and I'll share what I'm receiving. There are times, because I have not, until I recorded this video series, I never sat with my divine team and asked all of those questions and received their specific answers. So in some of that conversation, you'll see me be a little bit surprised, like, oh, okay, so what I'm receiving is, and I'll share, and you'll see me learn right along with you. You'll see my awareness and my understanding expand right along with you, right on camera. There were certain segments that where what I was receiving from my divine team came through very fast, and I'm fast talking through those, trying to keep up, right? But I'm not as aware when I'm translating that information that quickly. I'm not as aware of what I'm saying. So in certain segments, when I went back and watched the recording, when I became more aware of what I was receiving and sharing, I had more questions. And so I went back into conversation with my divine team, and I would splice in another audio conversation between me and my divine team where I had follow-up questions on what what I translated and shared in the original recording. So you'll see some of that as well, where I'm saying, well, what about this? When you guys gave me that made me wonder this. So what do you guys think about that? And there was more conversation being birthed as a result of watching the video after I actually received the information. Because as I said, sometimes when I'm receiving the information, it is coming through fast and furious and bypassing my thought process. So I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just kind of relaying the information. And when I rewatch it and I'm able to think about what they had me share, I have more questions. And so when I had more questions at the time of watching the video, I recorded more and added more. So you'll see some of that happen as well, but you'll see me receive clarity right along with you in the recording. So just be aware of that. And the conversation, sometimes I will stop and I'll go, wait, what about this? And well, which way did you want me to say that? Okay, so, and you'll hear that conversation happening where you don't even know what's going on. But then I'll come back to you and I'll share, here's what I'm receiving and here's the insights that I've received. So just for clarity, that's kind of how the entire thing unfolded, okay? So now I'm going to go into the 9 different meanings that I have heard other people refer to when they say the universe, and bring some clarity to all of those 9 different things so that we can all be clear on what is this universe that we're conversing with and communicating with and co-creating with and all of these different things. Now, the reason I wanted to go into the 9 different things is because of some degree of confusion when people are using the label the universe. So at times, people would use the label the universe and they didn't even understand for themselves what they were actually referring to. And it contributed to a degree of confusion such that they weren't able to move into a place of clarity on the life experience that they were having, because they weren't even clear on what, quote unquote, the universe was doing in their experience. So that's the reason I wanted to go through all of these 9 different meanings that people have attributed to the label the universe, so that so that when you're using the label the universe, you're crystal clear on what it actually means. Now, I'll end with the conversation that I've had with my divine team, but let's go through all of the 9.
If you are watching this on YouTube, it means that the entire video series is now available in the downloads area of my website, AllisonPhillips.tv/downloads. What a ride it was to have co-created this experience with my divine team. As you all know, this is the very first time I have ever done any such thing, and it was quite fun. We will be doing more, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, so that's where you can find the video series if any of this resonates. AllisonPhillips.tv/downloads is where you can access it all right now. I think it's in its totality. There was about 3.5 hours of this video series ended up being about 3.5 hours or so. So many insights, so many insights. I grew, I expanded, I became more aware, I became more clear. There is so much that we talked about in this entire video series, and it's an honor to have brought this out into the world. That is it for this video. Moving on to whatever is next, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!